Mike Bain joining me on the desk now, and we are halfway through Movember, and the Mocap news team, those mustaches are growing. Can we take a look at yours right there?
It's
almost
coming.
got the mutton chops on the side there.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It's way better, like I said last week, way better than I expected it to come.
For just 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, like you said, 2 weeks in, and everybody's mustaches are starting to come in great. Matt Schumont is a little bit skeptical. But
And tonight we're going to talk about, I guess, a bit of the stigma with men and actually going to the doctor. They don't seem to want to seek out getting that medical treatment and possibly testing, which could save their lives.
Yeah, getting them to the doctors is tough for every year. You know, it's just like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But getting to the doctors and finding out if there's something wrong is crucial in actually seeing if you can help it and stop anything from going any further. So we went and talked to a physician and the Canadian Cancer Society to see what guys can do to make that a little bit easier.
Great.
For years, getting men into the doctor's office for their yearly checkup has been a chore, but could be crucial in saving lives.
Yeah, it's very important because men don't have a strong, shall we say, advocacy organization for them. And as you know, the prostate cancer is one of the areas that men can do something about. Prevention or catch it early.
Something echoed by the Canadian Cancer Society.
Men seem to have the reputation for not wanting to go to the doctor or for putting off their regular checkups. And early detection is the key to life-saving, really, and to curing some cancers. So it's so important to get checked regularly.
Age, diet, a family history of disease and cancer, along with many other factors, should be considered.
At the age of 40, they should have a baseline complete exam, which involves your blood sugar, your cholesterol, your blood pressure, and a little counseling on lifestyle, diet, nutrition, exercise, etc.
The Canadian Cancer Society has an easy-to-use webpage called Reminder for Life. It's used for cancer screening and early detection.
If you sign up during your birthday month, we'll send you a note with a few questions based on your age and gender that you can take to your doctor so that you can, have the best chance of detecting and preventing cancer.
Mike Bain, Newcap News.
And if you would like to help out our own Mocap news team, just go to that website right there on your screen, ca.movember.com, and search Mocap News to put forward your donation. A gypsy jazz band out of Quebec recently made a stop at the Root Community Emporium. And in this week's Arts and Entertainment feature, Gerard Lampow catches up with the Lost Fingers.
We'll take AC/DC or something and slow it down and do it in a ballad, but it's very ironic, it's the lyrics are so dirty and you can actually hear them now,
Their music varies as much as their influences. The Lost Fingers niche is gypsy jazz.
It stems from the legendary Django Reinhardt, who founded basically gypsy jazz. We kind of take gypsy jazz, do cool cover versions and different kind of more modern songs.
So their name pays a tribute to Django Reinhardt, who lost a couple of his fingers in an accident and developed a playing style to compensate.
We have so many different influences, and there's a new world side that's starting to emerge with more kind of Latin rhythms and things like that. And Christian is a multi-instrumentalist, so he plays a lot of exquisite or exotic instruments.
Their present tour keeps them on the road for 19 days, trekking to BC and then flying back to Toronto. This band from Quebec City enjoys a tremendous album success.
We had Lost in the 80s, which was our first album that came out, which is got an interesting statistic, is a double platinum album. We were the only Canadian band to sell domestically that many albums behind Nickelback.
As a Canadian band, they've racked up the frequent flyer miles, playing in Dubai, Australia, Ukraine, and even the Canary Islands.
We just recently got back from Sweden, Spain, and France and stuff. It was very cool, and we celebrated in 5 years our 20th country visited.
And as busy as they are, work on their fifth album is almost complete.
We're going to be doing gypsy jazz versions of metal and hard rock too.
Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
Well, holiday shoppers and those looking to get into the spirit are in for a treat this weekend with the Chamber Christmas Expo. With over 100 booths and everything from gifts to decor, it's a great way to kick off the season. Kelsey Bloxham has a sneak peek of the 3-day event on this week's Chamber Chatter.
No, put our 4-footer in there.
It's a mad dash at the X grounds.
There you are, 33.
With less than 24 hours until the 23rd annual Christmas Trade Show and Craft Fair.
Well, it's a lot of organization and preparation. In fact, we start, as soon as this show is over, we will start preparing for next year. And I'm sure that our exhibitors do as well, because they register for all of their shows at the end of a show, and so that's how we start for the next year.
The expo draws in about 12,000 consumers from both sides of the border, many looking for those one-of-a-kind gifts. And making an appearance for the 4th year in a row is the Chamber's Spin to Win booth.
It's a way for our businesses or our members who can't come and have a presence at the trade show to still be recognized. And so we have a wheel that we spin. People can take a chance on the wheel, and there's prizes from many of our members.
The expo gets underway tomorrow at 10 a.m., continuing Saturday from 10 to 6, and wrapping up on Sunday from 10 to 4. Kelsey Bloxham, Newcap News.
Well, hundreds came out to hear the Discovery Channel's former Daily Planet host speak out about prion diseases last night in Vermilion. Alzheimer's, mad cow, and chronic wasting are all forms of the protein-based deadly disease. And in this week's Agriculture Report, Peter Quinlan tells us how our region in particular should be concerned.
And that is what I saw.
10 years ago, Stephanie Schub made a shocking discovery.
When I was sitting behind my microscope midnight and looked at these pieces of the brain and saw, yes, it was BSE, I felt like a very, very lonely one-man band.
Schub was the first to discover mad cow in Canada, an experience she will never forget.
When I realized I had to call this BSE, I also understood immediately what the impact would be. And sure enough, 15 minutes in the first press conference, 35 countries closed the border for Canadian beef.
The crisis costed Canada billions of dollars, and now researchers say these prion-based diseases still pose a threat.
Chronic wasting disease has the potential to become an enormous problem because it's the largest amount of free-ranging animals infected or susceptible for this disease.
Chronic wasting disease was first found in 1967 and has since spread into 19 states as well as in 2 provinces, Alberta and Saskatchewan. And you can see it's actually concentrated here in the Midwest region. And now researchers are scared global warming will allow infected deer and elk to move further north, potentially infecting caribou herds in the northern prairie provinces as well as up into the Arctic, putting the country at risk of facing another national disaster.
And the impact will be enormous. It is maybe one of the most significant lifestyle. Most typical Canadian is really hunting. All the Aboriginal communities, for them it is not a lifestyle, for them it is a survival.
Alberta residents, particularly here close to or right at the border with Saskatchewan, really should be worried about chronic wasting disease, because this is a prion disease that's in wild animals.
The human form of prion disease is similar to a sped-up version of dementia, and the consequences are fatal.
In the words of one of my patients who I first told they had this disease, she clutched her husband's arm and looked at me and said, "I'm so scared." And the family's left to really watch as their loved one slowly slips away till they can no longer speak, can no longer move, and ultimately pass away.
Alberta currently leads the world in prion research in hopes that one day we can find a cure.
They may ultimately have tremendous importance, not just for the diseases we already know, but for other more common diseases like Alzheimer's.
Peter Quinlan, Newcap News.